what's up, guys? Got another new video here for you. This is Tune In Sports. My name is Bryson.
I'm Steve.
And welcome to the channel. If you're new here, make sure you drop down into the subscribe button, join the family, and join us on our sports journey. And to be honest with you, pretty much right now our sports journey is swirling the bowl. But you know, there's a couple of reasons for that. And you know, obviously we're going to talk about the Eagles in this video, but you know, there's plenty to be frustrated about that. But you know, along with the Eagles, hockey season has just started up. Or I think are they in the preseason or are they in the regular season now?
You know, tonight was opening night.
Oh, okay.
Well, last night was actually opening night, but tonight was continuation for.
Yeah. So, anyways, so yeah, tonight was opening night. At least it was opening night for the Red Wings tonight, and you know, they came out with their pretty typical performance. Talk about things that we've seen in years past. Enter Red Wings stage left.
This is not gonna be a nice video. I'm so flipping mad right now with the Red Wings. How do you blow a 3-goal lead? I mean, come on, come out and play wonderful, and then just blow it. Yep. Just typical. This is exactly why we suck. Get out to a lead, can't hang on to it. I mean, all we ever hear is, oh, don't worry about it. Everything's going to be fine. We got the right guy at the helm now, and this and that and the other. And all I hear is all this garbage that we listen to. When are we going to see the flipping results? I'm sick of it. I'm sick of watching this team fucking play like a bunch of basement dwellers. It's garbage. It's like every other team in Michigan, every other team in Detroit. Just garbage. I don't understand. I mean, we should have won that game hands down tonight. The effort was there. But somehow in the third period, oh, we forgot how to play hockey. Can't fucking stop anything. You know, just ridiculous. I'm so upset right now after watching that shit. Watching us piss away the whole goddamn game. I mean, come on. This was a perfect time to open up a can of whoop ass on that team. And we had them. And gave it away. It's so frustrating, man. Every flippin' Detroit team just stinks. Do we have anybody that's any good?
Well, truth of the matter is that, you know, regardless of the fact that you gave up the game, I mean, blowing the game is one thing, but you know, when you score 6 points, that should be enough to beat a team.
Right.
Regardless of
if you score 6 goals, you shouldn't be worried about hanging on.
Yeah, exactly.
This is just ridiculous. It's typical of Detroit sports. They just get you excited so they can disappoint you. That's what they're the best at. Get your hopes up so they can disappoint you. That's what they do best. Every one of the goddamn teams in Detroit does the same thing. Can't win close games. Can't look impressive at any point in time. Just be garbage as often as possible.
Yeah.
Just frustrated. Tomorrow I'll be singing a different tune and I'll be all gung-ho for the Red Wings again, but this was really a frustrating loss, and I realize it's only opening night. So I've got a whole season of this bullshit to deal with and listen and you know,
comment on.
Yeah, I'm gonna be getting all kinds of this for the rest of the season. I shouldn't let this first game of the whole season irritate me as much as it did, but man, it's just typical. Every time can't hold on to the games, can't do anything.
Every time, every team.
Yep.
That's what it really is.
That's exactly what it is. We can't do anything correct.
Yeah. Well, on one positive though is that Michigan is still undefeated down there in not Michigan, not any of the Detroit teams, but you do got Michigan going strong, and Michigan State. Actually, both of them are undefeated right now. So, but the thing is that the first time that give at least going into it expected difficulties. The first team that either of them play is each other. I think not this coming week, but I think next week Michigan plays against Michigan State. So that'll be...
Yeah, one of their seasons will come to an end.
Yeah, exactly. So somebody's going to leave pissed off. So unfortunately, I mean, that's the way that the schedule works, and that's the way that it usually, just happens to be, I guess, where, oh, hey, we got a lot of exciting stuff going on. Oh, great, now we got to play each other, and, usually one team takes a tank after that, and if whichever one doesn't loses to Ohio State to fill in the void. So, but anyways, while we're on the topic of things that we saw last year, how about we talk about this Eagles game? The Eagles played against the Bucs tonight, and for God's sakes, I said in the video last week, and I've said in past videos, that really what we need to do, or really what we can do, is just record a video for 1 week. And here's the other thing, is maybe what we need to do is just talk about our team, record a video, and then don't mention who we played against. Just be very general, don't mention who we played against, and then we'll just repost the same video every week.
Yeah.
Just say, it was a tough game for the Lions.
Yeah,
their opponent,
another tight loss.
Yeah, their opponent this week, got off to a strong start. Took a while for the Lions to get things going, but then they came back at the end. But, typical Lions fashion, found a way to lose. And we can do that for all of our teams. But specifically, we can do that for the Eagles, because what we saw tonight was every other week that we've watched with this team. Literally 7 points in the first half, down by 14. Opponent scores 21 in the first half. Then second half starts, we're down 28-7 or 14. Yeah, 28 to... Actually, I think the Bucs may have scored all their points in the first half, actually. I think they got to 28. Maybe not. May have been 21-7. Nonetheless, it was all Bucs in the first half. Second half, the Eagles offense finally wakes up a little bit, makes a game out of it. But, by the time that they show up, game's over.
Yep.
And that's what we watch every single week with this team. Every time you guys tune into a review, or even if you don't, take my word for it. You can go back and watch these reviews, and week in and week out, we're sitting here having the exact same freaking conversation about the offense struggling, about the defense being on the field too long, about coaching or lack thereof, about slow starts, about preparation, and about how every week we lose for the same reasons. And it seems like nobody does anything about it. Because if they were trying to do something about it, we wouldn't be seeing this every week. I mean, what is it that we, every week, it seems like our first possession in the first half is the only one that's decent. Most times. Our first possession is usually we score some points, and then we cannot score the rest of the half. At all. We can't score a single thing. And usually it's not even, we came close a couple of times but couldn't get it done. It's 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, penalty, penalty, penalty. Horrible. And, like I said, with penalties, we're the most penalized team in the NFL right now, as it sits. And I don't think it's by a small margin. Because we're in double digits every single week. Now, that's one positive I have to say about tonight's game is overall, not too many penalties out there. But a couple of them that were really stupid. And a couple of them maybe shouldn't have been called. Like that one on Jannard Avery when, Fournette freaking stood up, hit him, and they collided helmets, and personal foul on the defense. In my opinion, that was, first of all, that shouldn't have been. I mean, I didn't see anything there that told me that should have been 15 yards. But at the end of the day, why was he even in that position? Dude, you're losing the game. You've been down by multiple scores the whole time. Shut up. That's my feeling on it. Yeah. I mean, so what? You made one play. You've been getting your ass kicked the whole night. So shut up. I'll
speak to that. I mean, that whole scenario was fucking stupid. Let's start with the fact that, like he just said, the guy shouldn't have been standing there anyways. Get out. I mean, you're doing nothing. Go back to the huddle and get ready for the next play. Yeah. Don't sit here and act like a big deal because you didn't do anything that was that spectacular. Trust me. Yeah. Then, on top of it, the refs goofed it all up because if you look at the play, Fournette is the one whose head went flying into the other guy's helmet.
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
He created the contact.
Yeah. I mean, it shouldn't have been a penalty anyways.
It should have been no penalty on the Eagles. It should have been a 15-yard penalty on the Buccaneers.
Yeah.
He thrust his helmet into the guy's head.
Yeah. Yeah, if you're going to call a penalty, it should have been on the Bucs.
I mean, I don't know what the hell they were watching.
Yeah, I mean...
Bullshit.
If you're going to call a penalty, it should have been on the Bucs. But if not, then there shouldn't have been a penalty. There was nothing there. But again, I mean, what it comes down to is they did call it. And the way to remove that situation is not having this frickin' fruitcake over there talking crap when we're losing. You're getting pounded the whole night. I mean, it's just like, what are you specifically doing that's changing the outcome of this game right now? Nothing. You might be, I mean, don't get me wrong, I think he's a good player, but I'm just saying, like, for him to be sitting there talking crap when they were literally getting blown out 3/4 tonight, shut up, man. Shut up. And I'm not just saying that, well, obviously I'm not just saying that because, I mean, obviously we're talking about my team here. So, obviously, I'm not just saying that because it's somebody else's team. We're talking about my team and a player that I'm a fan of. But at the end of the day, that was stupid. Alex Singleton, through the majority of the night, number 49, the linebacker, he just struggled. I watched him get stiff-armed. I watched him be out of position on tackles. I watched him miss tackles. I watched him have routes run right past him and him just be out of position to make a play. Just bad night for Singleton. And, I've never really noticed it that much until tonight. So I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, that guy needs to go. Even though in the heat of the moment, I was getting pissed off saying exactly that. But, I mean, I'm just saying, I'm not saying that he's a horrible player, but all I'm saying is I did not like what I saw tonight. And then, like I said, the offense is horrible. The defense, listen, guys, this Gannon guy, the system is just not going to work. It just does not work. We're giving up so many yards. Tom Brady was probably 21 of 23 for 200-something yards in the first half. Because everything he was throwing, me and you could have completed. He wasn't making no passes in no tight windows. Most of the guys didn't have a guy but a handful of feet out of, away from him. I could have completed some of those passes. I'm not saying Tom Brady's not great and yada yada, jump off my back on that. I'm just simply saying that so many of his passes tonight were to people that were standing by themselves. And a lot of the time, it just seems like that's what they want. Like, oh yeah, go ahead, take the small stuff. Well, guess what? The small stuff added up and added up and added up, and not once did we hold them in the red zone tonight. So just like I said in past videos, this little, we'll just hold them to a field goal once it gets close, that might work against the Jets and the Panthers and some of these teams that aren't great on offense, but when we play real teams like the Chiefs and the Buccaneers, we're going to get creamed. We're not going to be able to stop them. And that's exactly what happened tonight. Every time they went down there, it was points. The only time it wasn't was because they knelt. Because the game was over. So, yeah. Like I said, it just doesn't work. Sorry, it doesn't work. I'm not a fan of it. I'm not a fan of the scheme. And usually, I'll be the first one to say, well, I'm not so sure it's a scheme issue. I think it's just execution. I'll be the first one to say that most times. Because, in my opinion, I didn't think Jim Schwartz did a bad job. And I think a lot of the time the problem was more on execution on defense and lack of execution on offense that led to defensive struggles last season. So I'll be the first one to sit here and say that I don't think that I don't think that it's always just, it's the system, it's the defensive coordinator's fault. That's not how I am with defensive coordinator. I don't think that that's the case. But here, that's how I feel. Even if the Eagles execute it to perfection, I still think it's not a well-run system because with the way our offense is struggling, we're damn near lucky to get 14 points in the whole game. Most of these weeks, that's all we've managed. The only reason we've gotten more is because we've scored in garbage time. Otherwise, what do we spend the majority of the game at? 14 or less. In more than half of our games now. And same situation tonight. We spent the majority at basically all except for the last 5 minutes at 14 or 7. So, like I said, it doesn't work. I'm sorry. I'm not a fan of it. And especially with how bad our offense is. And our offense is just putrid. And what it comes down to for me is just I don't think the scheme, again, on offense, I don't think the play calling is good. No attempts at rushing, hardly at all. When we did run the ball tonight, it was like a 14-yard gain there at the end. We ran 2 straight times, got like almost 15 yards. But the majority of the night, there was no design runs at all. It was just Jalen Hurts running around trying to not get sacked. And speaking of Jalen Hurts, I wasn't a fan of his performance tonight. I watched him make some boneheaded plays, and that interception was 100% his fault. I watched him scramble out of the pocket to the sideline, slide to stay in bounds behind the line of scrimmage, and then slide to stay in bounds when it was nearing the end of the second quarter. And we could have benefited maybe from stopping the clock. But there's a couple of problems with that. First of all, I don't really care about the clock stoppage thing. It wasn't like it was a 2-minute drill or anything, so I don't really care. But here's the thing that I do care about. First of all, why are you sliding when he could have just ran out of bounds? I mean, why risk doing something or getting hit or something when he could have just ran? Second of all, when you're behind the line of scrimmage, why are we running out anyway? Get rid of the ball. And I watched him do that kind of stuff all night. So many situations where if he would have just thrown it away and said, there's nothing on this play, let's just line it up again, we could have maybe saved a yard or saved a negative play. But so many times, and not just this week, but in past weeks, we've had negative plays because of the fact that he didn't just get rid of the ball. And that's just frustrating to watch because against teams that are good, they're going to eat you up from that. So, yeah, like I said, man, I'm so sick of watching the same show every week. Like I said, it doesn't matter who we play. We watch the same game. It was the same game against the Carolina Panthers. The only difference is we completed the comeback and won. But if you look at the game, no different. We struggled in the first half, came back in the second. If you watched the game the week previous to that against Dallas, well, that one was just an all-around bad performance. But even so, horrible opening start. We're down by so much early that we just lose. And then the week before that against the Niners, same story. The only one that was different was the Falcons game, but that's starting to look more like an irregularity than it was what we can come to expect, because since then, we've seen nothing but what we saw last year. Literally the exact same problems that we had last year. It's a new coach, a new head coach, a new play caller, a new defensive coordinator, but yet we're watching the same show. And that's just pathetic to watch. It's frustrating. And lastly, once again, when we didn't need to, we went for it on fourth down by 2 touchdowns. We went for it on fourth down. I mean, not fourth down. We went for the 2-point conversion to then put it at 28-22. But again, I said this before and I'll say it again. Why? Why are we doing that? I mean, our offense is not good. So why are we even doing that? If you want to go for 2, here's what you do. You do like the Lions did in their game against the Vikings. If you tie, or if you kick the field goal, you tie, or if you go for 2 and get it, you take the lead. That's when maybe you can go for 2. Not when you're down by 2 scores, and if you miss it, then you're down by 8, where we have no choice but to go for 2, and then if we don't get it, we lose. So just stupid play calling again. Why are we doing that? There's no reason at all to put ourselves in that position, in my opinion. I thought it was stupid. And I don't care about the fact that, once again, we converted it. Yay! Woohoo! But the truth of the matter is that eventually our luck is going to run out with that. And then one of these weeks, I can almost guarantee you, one of these weeks, that decision will cost us a game. Mark my words. One of these weeks, we're going to do that. We're not going to get it. And that's going to change the outcome of the game. I bet you anything. Matter of fact, it might be next week against the Raiders. We'll see. But I'm just saying, one of these weeks, that decision is going to happen. We're not going to get it. And that's going to cost us the game. I can almost guarantee you. And I'm going to be just as pissed off about it as I am now when we converted it. We converted it and I'm still hot. No. Because it's stupid. I don't understand the whole analytics thing. How does that make any sense? You know what I mean? Analytics-wise, how does that make sense? Why does it... What about that play says, oh yeah, this is just common sense. This is what everyone should do. No. What about that is analytics? I don't know. But I just, man.
Well, the biggest thing I think, and we talked about this previously, is I don't know how you are going to ever win a game when you're losing the time of possession battle like they are. They literally do not have the ball but very few minutes in the game. And when your offense sucks, good luck.
Yeah.
And, I mean, what do you expect? The defense not to get tired? They're out there for 12, 14, 16 play drives every time they're out on the field.
Yeah.
I mean, you're asking for people to get hurt. You're asking for people to get tired. People get tired, and then they make dumb plays. They end up creating more fouls because guys are tired, and they're like, oh, I better hang on to him, otherwise he's going to get away. And, I mean, ultimately, it just results in more losing.
Yeah.
And I just don't understand it. I mean, I don't understand what the fuck they're doing. It just doesn't make any sense to me. This bend don't break shit it's broken. It's obviously proving that it doesn't work because they're not winning games. You know? I mean, I don't know. I mean, maybe there's something I'm missing with it, but if you ask me, you can't give up the time of possession battle like this, like they're doing. I mean, that's not even close.
No, we were down by 17 minutes at one point. I don't know I don't know what the final amount came to, but I know at one point we were down by 17 minutes in time of possession. Let me check what the ending thing was here. We lost it by 19 minutes and 52 seconds, so damn near 20 minutes. We basically lost it by almost a quarter and a half, the time of possession.
Yeah.
Well done. And I can guarantee you that was only because of a little bit of coming back in the second half. Because in the first half, we did absolutely nothing. So, and here's the other thing, is that I don't appreciate the fact that there was a play tonight where it was 3rd and 3, 3rd and 4, something like that, and we were playing off coverage. Slay was guarding Godwin, and he was 5 yards back. And it was like a 3rd and 2. And he was 5 yards back. So Godwin just did a quick little out route, caught it, ran out of bounds, didn't get touched because Slay was so far back. And it's not because they didn't want Slay guarding him up close. It's not because Slay didn't feel like guarding him up close. It's because that's what they're telling him to do. Because I guarantee you, he'll be the first one to be up in your grill all night long. You can attest to that. He did it in Detroit. So it's not him. They're they're calling us out of the game, in my opinion. Just the game plan alone is putting us behind the 8 ball with the defensive mentality and then what the offense is bringing to the table. We're already up a creek, and the football hasn't even, the opening whistle hasn't even blown, and we're already not in favorable chance to win, and we haven't even seen the opening kickoff, just based on the defensive mentality and the offensive game plan.
Yep.
We're already having a good shot to lose before the game ever starts. And that is just beyond infuriating, to be honest. And like I said, it's one thing if this was new, but we've seen this every week. And almost every week last year, too. We watched this. Mm-hmm. And at this point, I'm just tired of it. I'm done. I don't know what you want me to do. Just sit here and swallow the pill every week? No, I don't want to. I want to see improvement. And all I see is the same thing to a different team. That's all it is. And like I said, when we're playing the real teams, I give us almost no chance with this formula that they got going on right now. I give us little to no chance. So, as far as I'm concerned, things need to change. I'm not saying coaches need to be fired or anything, but I'm just saying that things need to be changed because this just isn't going to work. The way that we have it set up right now, we're just going to get toasted.
You're just dying a slow death every week. That's all it amounts to.
Yeah, exactly.
You're
And
just dying a slower death.
Yeah, and coming back at the end, that's nice. But did anybody really think that we were going to come back and win that game? Not with our defensive strategy. And that's the other thing is, with the offense struggling the way it is, like he said, there was like 5 minutes left when we got our last touchdown. We needed a stop. Do you honestly expect that our defense was going to be able to hold them for 5 minutes? No. They've given up 12, 14, 10, 12, 14 play drives all night long. Yeah. What was going to change in that one? Nothing. No way. Give me a break.
No, the defensive scheme would not allow them to be able to be in position to win the game.
Yeah, and of course that stupid interference. The stupid play by Avery that we were talking about earlier. That flag that was thrown, that didn't help matters either, because that was on that drive that play happened when we needed a stop, and we're giving up 15 yards over some nonsense.
Yeah.
You know, like I said, I mean, in my opinion, it's arguable whether or not whether or not the play shouldn't have been, the call shouldn't have been on the other side for the Bucks, like you said too.
Yeah.
But I mean, at the end of the day, it was called on the Eagles, and the only way you prevent that is don't do stupid stuff like that. But what it comes down to for me is that this team is not disciplined at all. It doesn't seem like. You don't lead the league in penalties by a wide margin and be a disciplined football team.
No.
I mean, the Bucks had a horrible night with penalties tonight. They had the most in any game in the NFL tonight. So that wasn't a great showing. But most weeks you don't see that from them. And same with a lot of the best teams in the league. You don't see them having 15 penalties, 14 penalties, 12 penalties a night like the Eagles. And that's why we suck. And these other teams are good. And that's why when we get into games with these teams, it'll be close, or we might make it close, but at the end of the day, the result will always be the same. We're going to come out on the losing end. And that's what bad teams do. And that's why week to week, the show is the same for the Eagles, the Broncos, the Lions, and the Bengals. Because as much as we want to sit here and sip the Kool-Aid and say, boy, this is going to be nice, we are seeing a lot of changes happening here. At the end of the day, we're still suffering from the same problems that we all had last year.
No, the results are the same.
Yeah, the results are the exact same. And for the most part, all the things we talked about last year, it's just been a continuation of it. You know?
Yep.
So, I mean, and I think really it just comes down to we're just not good teams. We don't know how to win these games. None of us. We don't know how to win these games. We get into these tight contests, and it's like we're looking for a way to blow it. And us as the fans sit here expecting it. And we're never disappointed because they always come with it. Some way to lose the game. Whether it's the Lions or the Eagles or the Bengals or man.
Every week's the same show.
Yeah. So with that in mind, welcome to Tune In Sports. If you like what you heard tonight, then, definitely subscribe because it's the same show every week. So.
Yeah, we got Sunday's games coming up, and you'll be hearing a lot more of the same bullshit.
Yep, exactly.
Nobody knows how to finish a game. Nobody plays well enough to win them. Like you said, we find ways to lose them, if anything. Whether it be stupid penalties, guys getting 15 yards on dumb shit call plays. Why the guy is even standing there fucking yapping his jaw is beyond me. Why? What do you think? What are you accomplishing by doing that?
Yeah.
Get out, get back to the huddle, make the next play.
Yeah. Well, and especially when, like tonight, I mean, a lot of the times these are coming from people in the position of losing. We were losing all night. There was no point where we were not losing the game, outside of a couple times when we were tied. But the first drive, the Bucks went right down the field and scored. Then we went down the field and scored. The Bucks got the ball back, went straight down the field and scored. There was no question about it. As soon as they got the ball, 15 play drive every time, just about. So what are you sitting there doing, yapping about? How about you
plays?
Yeah, how about you get off the field? But like I said, I'm not going to blame it all on him because the defensive coordinator is setting us up to lose. He's basically asking them to walk down the field.
He's holding their hand while they're doing it.
Yeah, exactly. So like I said, I'm not going to get mad at Slay for giving up that 3rd and 2. He was probably instructed to wait back there 5 yards.
Well, I guarantee he was.
Yeah. So, like I said, how can you sit there and get mad at the player? The defensive coordinator is asking him to do this stuff. Yep. He's asking for the other team to have career days against our defense. He's asking for the opposing quarterback to have a career night. Hey, you have any records that you could possibly break tonight? Hey, here's an opportunity for you. Let's see if you can get your highest completion percentage that you've ever had.
Yep.
or break a record for yards or receptions or something. He's just asking teams to try it.
Yep.
So, anyways,
it was a poor job by coaches and idiotic plays by players.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, there's no defense for getting 15-yard penalties on stupid plays. Mm-hmm. You're costing your own team.
Yeah. Well, and especially in the position that they were in. The last thing that you should have been doing is putting yourself in a position where that could be called. You know as much as anybody, if you don't get a stop, you lose.
Yep.
You needed to stop.
No, instead, let's hand them some more yards. As if they needed any help in that area.
Exactly.
I mean, Tom Brady had one of the most, easiest games of his life tonight. All you got to do is throw a screen pass every play. Nobody's guarding it. Nobody's around.
Yeah. And every time they ran the ball, it was 7 yards too, which only made the passing easier.
Yeah. No, it was a horrible defensive game plan, in my opinion.
Well, like I said, buckle up, because that's what we get to see every week. That's the game plan.
In my opinion, when you got guys like Slay, and I don't know who their other corner is,
Steven Nelson.
But to me, you are showing absolutely no faith that those guys can make any plays. And Slay's one of the best defensive players in the game.
Yeah.
Like, now let's let him play like it.
Yeah.
There's a reason he's out there. It's because he's a lockdown corner.
Yeah, not to stand 6 yards off.
Instead, we're just going to allow him to basically be... they basically take him out of the game.
Pretty much.
You can't get a pick when nobody's throwing the ball over 2 yards.
Yeah. I agree.
Come on, man. Defensive coordinator stinks.
I know. And like I said,
we'll be hiring him at Detroit next season.
Well, and like I said, the frustrating part about it is that this isn't just like, oh man, we had a tough game against a difficult opponent. This is what we're seeing every week because this is the game plan for this to happen.
Yeah.
You know, this is literally what he wants. He wants them to just go down the field on him, basically. Oh, we're not giving up the big plays. Oh, well, guess what? We gave up 4 touchdowns tonight. What do you call that? Oh, it didn't happen in 1. Oh, thank goodness. That allowed us to lose the time of possession by nearly 20 minutes. Because it didn't just happen in 1 play, it happened in 12. Yeah. So, in essence, that took us out of the game even more.
Yeah, because now we don't have time like we would.
Yeah, exactly. So... in essence, we just lose. Like I said,
that calls them right out of the game.
Like I said, what it really comes down to is we're putting ourselves behind the 8 ball before the first kick is ever even happening. Before the whistle blows to start the game, before the coin toss, before the spread comes out on Wednesday. The point spread comes out on Wednesday. We're already behind the 8 ball. The moment the last game ends, we're behind the 8 ball in the next game because of the coaching here and because of the game plans. So that just has to get you excited as a fan, knowing, oh, okay, this is what we have to look forward to next week too. Sign me up. Who are we playing? Can't wait. Yep. And like I said, when it really gets frustrating is when we start playing teams within our division, because then it's teams you can't stand. I don't have anything against the Bucs, so I'm pissed off, but I'm just pissed off because I'm pissed off. But when we start playing the Cowboys and these teams that I can't stand, I get pissed off even more. Because it's teams I hate doing it to us. But if I was those teams, well, I'd take advantage of it too. Why on earth wouldn't you?
No.
They're asking you to move the ball on offense.
Yeah, they're telling you, go ahead. Run it 5 yards a play.
Yeah. And like I said, maybe if our offense was better, then this system would be okay. But given the fact that our offense can't put up more than 14 points, even if we just hold them to field goals every time, we could lose. We couldn't score more than 7 in the first half. So even if we held them to a field goal every time they were in the red zone, we're still losing by 5 points.
Yeah.
You know? So it's just, oh, man. And here we are at 40 minutes now, and I said this was going to be short, but god damn it. Ah! Damn team. Ugh. Anyways, that's enough of this video. You know, like I said, just very frustrated, and like I said, and like we've talked about before, it's not even just the fact that we lost this game. We weren't supposed to win, so it's not like I was expecting us to. It's the repetition week to week, watching the same problems, and nothing seems to be addressed. That really is irritating. If we just lost because the Bucs are better than us, shoot, wouldn't be much to talk about. You know what I mean? If we just straight up lost this game, but we put out a good effort, and it wasn't the same story, then I wouldn't even really be complaining. Because I know we're probably not going to beat the Bucs. I'm not stupid. I'm not kidding myself here. I didn't think we had a chance in hell at winning this game, home or not. We could be in Tampa Bay, and I would, you know, I don't care if we're in Tampa Bay, London, Detroit, or anywhere else. We can play the Bucs on the frickin', you know, in the big house at Michigan. I don't care where we play. We're not winning, probably. They're better than us. That's just the whole cold, hard truth. But the fact that we lost in the exact same form that we lose every other time is what's truly infuriating. I mean, it's never ending. It doesn't matter who we play, when we play them, where we play them. We have the same show. And that is what is really, really upsetting. And like I said, that was the same issue last year. And everybody's talking about, oh, Carson Wentz is the problem. Well, here we are, Jalen Hurts. We're looking at the same issue.
Yeah.
Everybody's savior. Oh, he's the man. He's the one that's going to change it around. Well, we're looking at the same thing. We can't move the ball with him or without him. Doesn't matter who's in there.
Yep.
We still can't score more than 7. So, enough of that, though. With that being said, guys, like I said, if you like the content, subscribe. If you like this video, you know, check out our other videos. They go down in a lot more of the same fashion, except for there's more people to complain about stuff and to talk about the exact same thing. So, you know, if you like hearing the story of why the Eagles lost every week, well, you'll probably enjoy the story of why the Broncos lost every week and why the Lions are 0-5 and why the Bengals are 3-2 or whatever the hell they are.
Yep.
Because every week it's the same show for us. So, yeah, make sure you check it out and, you know, get excited. But with that being said, guys, I'm Bryson.
I'm Steve.
See you guys in the next video.